Good day, good people. I'm Dr. Johnny Pierce, but you could just call me Johnny, and this is the Actually Well podcast. And today I am with
Hanan Ouchene.
I'm with Hanan today as a part of the series that I've been doing over the month of May, trying to bring in ladies who are in and around wellness doing amazing things. So, Hanan,
Yeah.
what you doing?
Thanks, Dr. Pierce. So,
She called me Dr. Pierce. Oh my God.
I do. I know you hate it, but
I don't hate it. It's just that
to...
it took me longer to get my name than it took me to get my degree. So that's what that's about.
Okay, I understand. But I do respect, the hard work that you put into it. So
I appreciate it.
I like saying Dr. Pierce, but Johnny, thank you for having me
Yes,
today.
you know me as Johnny. We're cool.
Yeah, we are cool. So, I actually work in the mental health field, just like you do.
Yep.
I am business development and marketing. So I like to describe my job as getting people resources for the kind of help that they need. So whether it's, a support group, or if it's a treatment center, or if it's just finding a therapist that works for the person. That's kind of my job, is to go out there and find those resources and get people connected.
You are the link.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I like that.
Hey, everybody's got their purpose and they got their jobs.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing this?
Business development, I've been in the space since about 2022, 2023-ish. So almost 4 years now.
Look at you.
But I've been in the mental health space from since 2019. So I started off kind of in the residential space, started off as a tech, and then slowly kind of worked my way up. I was able to become a residential supervisor and work with adolescent females who were struggling with mental health. Opened up some residentials, and then, slowly kind of made my transition into business development and marketing. I had a friend come up to me and she was like, "Oh my God, you'd be great. Like you do great talking to people." And I was like, and she was like, "Yeah, you do great talking to people." And I was like, I don't really know what business, like I didn't get a business degree, I got a degree in psychology and criminal justice. And so I never envisioned myself in business development. But, it just fit. I get to do all the things that I want. I get to work with patients and talk to them about what's going on with them. I get to work with families and help them out, find resources, because this mental health and substance use and everything just affects everyone in the system. So I get to help them out. I get to hang out with colleagues who are also in the space on a regular basis, and I get to talk for a living. So
sounds like it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Now you may not know this, but I actually started out with some residential experience. I was doing my internship to get this degree.
Yeah.
I was doing it at a place where I could work inpatient for about 2/3 of the time, and then I worked outpatient 1/3 of the time.
Yeah.
And it was a really unique training experience, and seeing the dynamics in a residential space where people, sometimes kind of, they have their conflicts come up between them. They, of course, have conflicts come up with staff.
Yeah.
When dealing with that kind of stuff, what have you leaned on to kind of help you? Because working with those young ladies, I'm sure it wasn't always a cakewalk.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. I leaned a lot on my supervisor at that time. And she was a really great mentor in helping me develop my identity in this space, and she helped me face a lot of challenges. I've always been the kind of person that kind of just wants to be a leader, but I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, how do I get there? And she was able to mentor me and help me learn how to be a leader.
Mentors are crucial.
Yeah. And I give her credit to this day, because she did support me through a lot, because also during the time that we were opening up the residential and running it, it was COVID. So we were hit with a lot of new things that we had to learn how to adjust and pivot. And, it was quite the learning experience, but I wouldn't take it back for the world. I think, you mentioned having these experiences and they teach you things. I think residential is the best place to start when you're starting off in mental health, because it's the most challenging.
And you're going to see people day in and day out. You're going to see how they vary over time. You're going to see how the time of the day can even impact what the kind of mood they got.
Yeah.
It's very informative.
Yeah, absolutely. So I learned a lot. I got to learn how to work with families, how to work with adolescents, because, you know, dealing with adults is one thing, but dealing with adolescents is a completely different scope. Yeah, so I got a lot of great opportunities to learn during that time.
So what you're doing now must be a breeze compared to that.
Kind of.
Hey,
really.
I get it. The further you get into your career, the more it's just like, you know, this was supposed to get more challenging, but because I got all this experience and some knowledge, I also know how to go get knowledge. You talked about wanting to be a leader and not always knowing how, and getting some supervision, getting some mentorship.
Yeah.
I imagine you seek that out pretty often now.
Yeah, I do. You know, I've definitely kind of gone through my own things, right? And for a long time, I didn't know how to ask for help, ask inquisitive questions that would help me learn and grow. I was kind of like, I kind of need to figure this out on my own. But you know, as I get older, I realize that asking questions is not a bad thing. Not knowing the answer is not a bad thing. It's actually the step. It's the step towards success. It's the step towards knowledge. It's the step towards wisdom. And now I'm not afraid to ask for help. Now I'm not afraid to, you know, question things and, you know, learn and grow, instead of taking things as like criticism or something negative when someone's, you know, trying to correct me on something or educate me on something. I take it more as like a time to just absorb as much information as I can as possible.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, I've been talking about this over the course of the podcast, that our frame is often what makes our experience.
Yeah.
Perception matters. It creates reality.
Yeah.
So if I believe that people are trying to help me, if I believe that people are trying to get me to grow, then when they say something critical, I don't even really see it that way or hear it that way. I hear it more as encouragement. That you believe in me. You believe that I can be better than I've been so far. I want to have that same feeling about myself. So give me the feedback, give me the information. How can I do better? And if you change the frame, you often change the view.
Yeah, absolutely.
So something that you kind of touched on a moment, you mentioned, you know, I've gone through my things.
Yeah.
And I've been purposely being mindful about, hey, everybody's got a story. Anybody that comes on and does an interview during this period, I want to make them as comfortable as possible, because this is supposed to showcase and highlight you.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you got a job, and I'm sure you help people at that place. I love the fact that you help people in the community and all those other things. I really want to highlight you, because I think that there are a lot of ladies out there who are doing hard work on themselves and doing hard work in the community. And May is supposed to be a celebration of that.
Yeah.
And that said, I know that sometimes that's challenging. Sometimes you go through some things. So whatever you feel comfortable sharing about your own wellness journey, please share.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me this space. You know, my wellness journey, I don't think it ever really had a true beginning. I think it always slowly develops, because we're always slowly learning and growing. So wellness is ever going, you know? So I think where challenges started to happen for me was, you know, in college and graduating college, I did pretty well. I mean, I wasn't a 4.0 student, but I was also someone that could get good grades. I could hold down a job. But one thing I didn't notice that was affecting me a lot was how much I was drinking. Yeah. You go to college and they're like, you know, party, have fun, you know, get to know yourself. And I was getting to know the booze quite a bit. So I was, I now see it, I reflect back, and now I know that it was an alcoholic, I was alcoholically drinking, but then I was just like, I'm having fun. I'm having a good time.
Probably weren't counting no drinks and consider the consequences.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you know, I was having a good time, and I grew up in a household where we don't drink. My family is Muslim, we're Arab, and it's not a part of our culture. It's not a part of our religion. We just don't. And there's many reasons for that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to rebel, and as most people do, you know, as most teenage girls do. But you know, I wanted to try it out, and so, you know, I was in college and I was drinking, but that's kind of how I learned to drink. And it's something that
you learn in that environment. What are you learning? You're learning to binge drink. You're learning to drink
Yep.
without keeping track of how much food you ate or any of the stuff that might be helpful to you.
Yeah. So my drinking consisted of, at first started weekends, we'd start partying.
It always just starts on the weekend. Kind of oscillates around the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, so now I'm the center.
Correct. It's like, oh, okay. So I worked really hard this week. We had tests and I had to work 2 jobs. And so I was always feeling like stressed. And so when the weekend came, I was like, finally, I can let go, right?
Turn up.
Yeah, turn up. And so it was like just weekends. And then it started being weekdays, Thirsty Thursdays, Tequila Tuesdays, fucked up Fridays. Sorry if I'm cursing.
No, hey, look, ladies, it's okay to curse on the podcast. I don't do it as often as maybe I could, but it's okay.
I'll try and keep my swearing
to a minimum.
Hanan,
be yourself. That's what you're here for.
But yeah, I had any excuse to drink, and it was a way for me to kind of have this release or also kind of like numb all the stressors, that was my survival a little bit, looking back at it. So, I was drinking like a college kid in college, and then I graduated college and I was still drinking like a college kid after college. And so I think that's where kind of issues started to build up for me, I had lost a relationship that I was in for like 5 years, and that really, really took a toll on me. And it was because of the drinking now, looking back at it. And that was kind of my spiral into some really, really scary times.
Yeah.
And, it's really interesting because as someone who works in the mental health space and the substance use space, you'd think that I would have noticed what I was doing.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen with everybody that I get to sit and talk with, because everybody's at different places in their journey. So like you could be very much aware of, I have had challenges, I have done these things, but I don't know if I'm yet at a place where I really want to talk about them.
Yeah.
And I want to respect that with everybody.
Sure.
But I went to grad school. I was one of 71 in my doctorate program. And I was there for 6 years on the campus for 5 years. Yeah. So I got to meet a lot of people who were coming into that school and leaving out of that school with the exact same paperwork that I got.
Yeah.
I've heard stories.
Yeah.
And the thing is, some folks have found peace with their stories, and they can share and they can use it to uplift and encourage others, because it's like, I went through that and here I am now.
Yeah.
Some folks, they bury it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because they're burying it, they're not working on it. And it's going to show up in a really problematic way at a later time.
Absolutely.
So, no, I'm not actually surprised at all to hear that somebody who had the knowledge wasn't applying the knowledge, because we all know that knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power.
Correct. Yeah.
But then you start applying it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when things were kind of really chaotic, it was mainly just me me not admitting to myself that I had a problem.
Yeah.
I think there's somewhere in my brain where I was like, I'm drinking a lot.
It seems like a bit much.
Yeah, like I'm struggling to go to work. I'd been fired for the first time when I was in active alcoholism.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a moment, I'm sure. That was like an ego killer for sure. And so, a lot of embarrassing things happened. But I think it took all of those like little embarrassing things to build up and build up and build up for me to finally hit that rock bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kind of quote AA a little bit because I'm in AA.
Ain't nothing wrong with being in AA.
Yeah.
AA's helping you.
It is. It saved my life, to be honest. But, they say, I lost my train of thought. They say rock bottom is just as far as you dig it, I
was actually going to say that, but I was like, you know what? Let me let her do her thing.
You're like, let her find her thought.
Yeah, respect.
But yeah, rock bottom's, when you stop digging. And I think I got to a point where I finally stopped digging. And it wasn't honestly that long ago. It was this time last year. So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Funny enough, this time last year is when I actually met you.
Yeah.
Our good friend Nicole Caston was doing an event. She's when it comes to networking in the Nova area. Yep. Nicole Caston, you the one. And congratulations on your nuptials.
Yes, you're amazing. I love you.
Everybody loves you, Nicole.
Yes.
Her. Speaking of her, she and my youngest daughter, they're like.
I know. I saw them. Remember,
they are buddies.
Yeah, at the one networking event, and they were just like so close.
Well, that's the thing. That was the first time she's meeting my oldest that day.
Really?
Yes.
That's so.
Nicole just like brings people in. It's amazing.
But also, your daughter has such a great personality, and she's just so eloquent.
You hear that, V?
And she's.
You hear? You hear, V? Do you hear?
She's amazing.
So Nicole had this event. I don't even remember what part of the area was it in.
It was so the one last year was in Manassas.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really been to Manassas much, even though I've been living in DMV now for a while.
Yeah.
But I came down there just because one, it was a great opportunity to network, and two, like, new area, check it out.
Yeah.
And then you're there, and you were going to go. I think you were going to go. You had your cowboy boots on.
Oh, yes. I had to drive to Richmond for an event, which I completely missed. So sorry, Kiara. I tried to make it on time. He saw what time I left that event to make it down there.
Yeah. You left pretty early.
Yes, it was a line dancing event, and I had my cowboy boots on, and I was so excited. But unfortunately, Northern Virginia traffic just doesn't allow you to do things sometimes. It's okay.
It's a struggle. But I mean, it's not every day I go to a networking event. Somebody's got a pair of cowboy boots on. So I look over, I'm like, okay, I've never met this person before, but we're going to have a conversation before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's been about a year, it's been over a year, I'm guessing.
Yeah, over a year at this point, that I've been back and kind of on my recovery journey. So it's been quite the journey. Let me tell you something. If I would have expected to be where I'm at now, this time last year, I would have gotten sober so much sooner. Oh my gosh. It's like someone in the rooms always would say, like, if I could show you the curtain into your future, you probably would stop drinking right now. And I use that to this day because it's so interesting how much life changes when you decide to change.
Fair.
And so I had made a decision to finally do something different. Instead of pick up the drink, I decided to go to AA. And it clicked for me. I met my people there, I met people who went through the same things, did the same stupid things I did. And
I'm going to help y'all one day with the whole judgy part. Like, it wasn't stupid. You did what you did. It didn't work out for you. You weren't being loving towards yourself. But you did it, and you survived it.
Yeah.
You survived it, and you grew because of it.
I did.
Lovely if you can avoid it altogether, but
Absolutely.
You didn't, and yet it didn't take you out.
Someone once told me if I could take a magic pill and take away my alcoholism, would I take it? And I wouldn't. I wouldn't. And it might be controversial, might be a hot take. I wouldn't. I think all the experiences that I've had in my life have gotten me to a point where I can now serve a purpose of being able to support people in a different way than I was before. I don't think I really truly understand what mental health and wellness and addiction and recovery meant until I went through it myself. And not to say that the professionals that haven't gone through it are not, doing their job well or don't have that experience and, they don't fit the mold, because it's just different for me. I think it's just what I needed. And I truly believe that God has put me on this path to learn those lessons and to kind of be able to learn from them and teach what I've experienced. Not in the sense of like, I'm going to tell people what to do, but I'll share my experience.
Experience, strength, and hope, I think they call it.
Yes. Wow. It's like you've been in the rooms of AA before.
I actually had to go to a couple meetings while I was taking the addictions class. But no, I've worked with a lot of very successful clients who've gone through 12-step programs, who've gone through, Smart Recovery. There's Celebrate Recovery. There's so many different spaces out there to help people come together around the fact that we're getting better.
Yeah.
You know, we were doing what we were doing, and it wasn't helping us be the people we wanted to be, and we're getting better.
Absolutely.
And that seems to be the message for most people when they come out of those rooms is, you know what, there's the meeting before the meeting, there's the meeting, and then there's the meeting after the meeting. And I have community now in a way that I didn't have it before. Yeah.
It's really interesting to see, you know, how a lot of things have changed. It's not just putting down the drink now. Like, it's, you know, building relationships. I learned how to have relationships again. I think I lost a lot of, I did lose a lot of them. Friendships, family relationships were really strained. Romantic relationships just started to not even exist at that point.
Right.
And I started to like learn about my relationship with myself. You know, I think that's the most important
the first relationship.
Yeah. And I didn't have one. I didn't have one at all. And so I really need to learn like who I was. It was really interesting. I remember reflecting on, you know, who I was. So I've been to a couple of rehabs, just like as a heads up, but I remember the first one that I went to, and my therapist was like, so who are you? And I really couldn't answer. She was like, beyond the job, beyond, you know, your family, beyond your friends, like, who are you?
Right.
And I couldn't figure that out to save my life. And it still resonates with me now. But I really believe like who I am and my purpose has evolved into, you know, I'm someone that has experienced some things that maybe not everyone has experienced. And so I have this blessing to be able to support people and get them to where they need to be, just by sharing my experience and by lending out a hand to whoever needs it.
Right.
You know, and like that's who I am. You know, it was always kind of in me. Like as a kid, like I was always, I think like I was more shy, but I feel like I always had a little bit of a kind heart. You know, my name is Hanan. So in Arabic, it means compassion. And my parents, I feel like always resonated with that. And like, I feel like I had that in me this whole time, but it took me going through things and like learning about myself and learning what doesn't work and learning what I needed to get to a place where I can actually be compassionate.
Beautiful.
And finally like live up to my name, you know?
Names do define people.
They do.
Hence why I like being called Johnny.
That's true.
God's gift.
God's gift. Amen. And so, yeah. So I was, so I've been in recovery now for this past year, at least true recovery from what I believe. And, you know, now I have this such a fulfilling life. Like I do things that I haven't done in years, actually like a decade, you know, because there was like a decade of my drinking that, you know, I had to kind of figure out what was going on during that time, figure out who I was. So now I do a lot, like I do high rocks races, which are really fun. If you don't know what that is, look up high rocks. It's a really cool kind of mix of running and strength training and like kind of just interval training. It's a lot of fun, great camaraderie. So I do high rocks training. I do a lot of service work. I take AA meetings into rehabs. I chair meetings. I try and support as best as I can at my club, my local club and my home group. I spend a lot of time with family now. I have a beautiful niece and nephew that I get to spend time with.
That's awesome.
You know, yeah. So it's like really cool. I spend time with friends and we don't drink. And
it's amazing. You can do it.
I know. Like, and we do so many fun things. Like,
it is a thing.
We had karaoke. We went on a boat last year.
On a boat.
We were literally like, it was so funny because everyone else around us was drinking and we were the one sober boat, but we were dancing and like swimming and having fun like we were drunk. And I'm pretty sure everyone around us probably thought we were drunk, but we weren't. We were just living.
Right. Because it's an option.
It is an option.
There's this whole thing called life that existed before alcohol, can exist during alcohol, and can exist after alcohol.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think you need to have that perspective, but it's hard to get that perspective if you're not in the right mindset.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it takes just time, and it takes the right moment for someone to get that. You know, I could have had it back in 2023 when I first went to my first rehab, but I didn't. It just took some time for me.
Just took some time. That's all.
And that's okay. And that's completely okay. You know, everyone's recovery journey is different. Recovery is not linear. It's actually a roller coaster. And so some days you'll be up here, some days you'll be down here, and some days you'll be like flipping around and
like you're going to get there. You're going to get there. You're going to get there.
But it's all okay. That's the beauty of life, you know. It's really interesting. We have discussion meetings all the time, and you know, recently a lot of the themes of the readings have been, you know, choosing the life we had before sobriety and the life of sobriety. And I think it's just, I think you kind of touched on it a little bit. You know, when I was not in sobriety or in recovery, I was pretty much choosing to die every single day of my life. And
I've talked about this with people.
Yeah.
You're either choosing wellness or you're choosing illness.
Yeah.
Kind of goes that way.
Absolutely. And like, I say that not sarcastically. I truly mean that, because with my drinking came a lot of suicidal ideation, came suicide attempts, came a lot of, I mean, drinking for me was self-harm. And I was really just ruining everything in my life. And so when I view it, I feel like I was choosing death for a long time. And so for me, sobriety means choosing to live again. And it's been a long time since I've lived, so it feels very euphoric, to be honest. It's probably the best high that I've ever had. Beautiful. And it's a blessing, because I wouldn't have this without the people that care about me, the professionals that have helped me, God, you know, AA.
Right.
And so I think like if I were to give anything in this podcast, any message, I think it's so important to find community and find people that are willing to help at any stage of your life. And that don't want anything back from you. I think like a lot of my relationships before sobriety were transactional. It was like, what can you do for me and what can I do for you? And I was a part of that transaction, so I know that was my fault. But now it's just like, find people that just want to be near you.
It is just kind of cool.
Yeah, just want to exist with you, you know? And that's super, super awesome to have. And it really does get you through a lot of things. I've seen a lot of people in the rooms go through a lot of turmoil and a lot of sadness, even in sobriety, because it's life, you know. I've lost a couple of friends, even in this past year, to this illness. But, you know, we got through it together. Right. We like worked and talked about it. We let it out. We processed it. And then we learned, you know, what the next step was. We figured it out.
Yeah, you talked about it in a way that is consistent with how I talk about grief, where you got to be sad, because grief is loss.
Absolutely.
And loss is going to make you feel sad.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you have to also remember what you had.
Yeah.
Because in order to lose something, you had to have it in the first place.
Yeah.
And that sets the stage for you to be able to honor.
Yeah.
Because I carry forward.
Yeah.
I may not have you here anymore, but I have everything we had.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be introducing you to people for the rest of my life, because I'm still here. Mm-hmm. And how I go about living my life can highlight that you were somebody worth remembering.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, I mean, my life is a blessing now. You know, every single day I wake up and I thank God for it, right? Because at least I believe, you know, you never know if you're going to wake up the next day.
You just don't. Tomorrow's not promised.
It's not promised. And so, you know, they say this, it's a very cheesy line, but today's, you know, a blessing, because like it's called the present because it's a blessing, right?
Right.
And I try and live by that. Am I perfect? Hell no, I am not.
Really? Are you sure? Because I was doing I was going through my phone and I was saying like, who all here is perfect? And I thought you might be the exception, and I thought, you know, maybe Hanan, but no, I cross you off the list.
No, you can just cross me off that list. Absolutely not. I mess up all the time, you know.
Yeah, my phone doesn't seem to have anybody in there that fits that description of being perfect.
Yeah, perfection.
I haven't met anybody who was perfect either.
No.
Matter of fact, I don't know if you see that, but that tattoo says imperfect.
Ooh, okay.
Yep.
I love that.
And then there's a shadow underneath it that says 100%, because despite knowing that I'm not perfect, I give my
100% every single day.
Exactly.
Because that's all that we can do, right? It's progress, not perfection.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of tattoos, I made a point of saying this. We had a little chat before we got on camera because Hanan and I, we're funny folks. I was like, I got to say something about the hand tattoos, not because I'm judgy, because obviously I'm not judgy, but it's not every day that I get to spit any time with somebody who also has hand tattoos. So what kind of flack, if any, have you gotten with those?
Oh, gosh. I think luckily in my professional life, it hasn't been an issue.
It's amazing how that works, right?
I know.
I was told in 2010 when I got this tattoo at my school, how's that going to affect you? When it's like, I mean, if I'm black, breaking news, I'm black. Since I am black, my skin color and the color of my skin already been a topic, not a new thing just because the ink's actually black. But like people are drawn to it.
Yeah, people ask a lot of questions. Work was never really an issue. I think it's just people have this stigma or idea of tattoos. I think it's gotten better.
Most definitely.
But I think there's still like a stigma around being like, I mean,
you're one of those people.
It kind of worked out for me because I am an alcoholic and addict. So, I mean, it kind of made sense for me, but also like, yes, you're one of those people. It puts you in a box in some people's minds. But I've kind of broken some barriers. I mean, my parents hate them. Absolutely. Love you, mom and dad. But wait.
Does your mom and dad do this? So like my mom hates my tattoos. Swore up and down she hated my tattoos.
Yeah.
I get around somebody that doesn't know I have tattoos because, maybe the shirt's down or whatever.
Yeah.
This is before the hand tattoos.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, go ahead, show me your tattoos. And I'm like, wait, but you don't like my tattoos. Why do I have to show them to people?
Yeah.
They don't even know I have them.
Yeah.
Do your parents ever do that?
No.
Oh, okay. They're like, cover your hair.
Yeah, that's literally what I get. I get the opposite. I get the cover up, please. And like, I get it because mostly, I mean, in our religion, we value modesty. I totally get that.
Dig it.
And I can agree to an extent. But, I think my tattoos have told a story, and do still tell a story of my life. Like, I remember where every single one of them, where I've gotten them at. Some of them overseas.
Really?
Yeah, so I have one right here that says La Vie est belle, so life is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I got that when I was 18 in Nice, France, with my best friend. So each one of them has a story. Like, I remember, where I was at that point, what I was doing. Got this one in Mexico by someone that I'm pretty sure was part of the cartel,
I ain't got nothing to do with it. She said that I didn't put y'all on blast. Please.
No, not.
I got kids.
It was just like, I was hungover and we found this really weird tattoo shop in
sounds like a story.
In like the cut. Yeah. So it was not the best place, but it was a cool.
You survived.
I survived it, and it was it's a memory. It's a memory.
It's a story to tell.
So. Yeah, I mean, I think they all tell a really cool story of my journey. I will continue to get them. I'm sorry, mom and dad. I love you, but I will continue to get them.
Know thyself.
Some of them are just like little reminders. I remember someone in the rooms, and I got this actually a while ago. I've been in and out of the rooms for a while, but some in the rooms told me, as I started recovery, keep it simple, stupid.
They call it KISS.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. And I couldn't get it. But I tattooed it on me, so I guess it's stuck. Yeah, and so I just have a bunch of fun ones. This one says faith in Arabic. I have the evil eye tattooed on me. I have Dreamer on my back. I have a few matching tattoos with some of my best friends.
That's awesome.
And I don't regret any of them, to be honest. Even the pineapple on my hip, that's really ugly, but it's okay. It was a part of my journey.
No comment.
You make decisions when you're 15 years old, and you can't go back from them. But
sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't. But,
yeah. But
pineapples are sweet.
Yes,
and
yeah.
You are as well.
Thank you.
I'm wondering to kind of bring our time together talking about this on camera because we, of course, like I said, we're cool people.
Yeah.
is there anything that you haven't mentioned already? Because you talked a lot about identity.
Yeah.
You talked a lot about, heritage. You talked about being in recovery. You talked a lot about the different journeys you've been on.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you haven't noted that you feel like really had a big impact on you?
I think identity was a big part of me kind of going down my spiral into alcoholism. I think I didn't know who I was because of there was like so many societal things. I'm first generation American. My parents immigrated over here from Morocco. And, I'm a female, I'm a Muslim, there's like so many parts of my identity that, take a factor in how I view the world and how the world views me. But, as I'm in this journey of recovery, I'm learning more about me. And so some of the beautiful things that I'm learning is, about my religion again. Islam is a religion that I was scared of, that I didn't understand. And I'm slowly learning about it. And it's really interesting how the world works, because when I walked into AA, I was like, there's no way there's another Muslim alcoholic like me. And guess what? God was like, all right. And he plopped this beautiful woman who wears a hijab. And I remember seeing her in the rooms and I was like, I need to get to know her. And so being able to find someone that, understands me in a different way in the room. Just another layer. Right. It was so pivotal to my recovery, and it still is a pivotal point of my recovery. So getting to know who I am spiritually, like what my connection is with my higher power, that's really important to me. Also learning about my culture again. I am Moroccan. Both my parents were born and raised there. Most of my family's actually over there. I haven't been there in a few years, but most of them are there. So understanding my culture again, I need to brush up on my derija. So if anyone has any ideas on how I can do that, other than talking to my parents on a daily basis, please send help. And then also just like learning who I am as a woman, like I am in my late 20s now, and I stunted my growth with drinking. And so now, 10 years later, I started drinking young, but like 10 years after, going through everything, I'm like, okay, like, who am I? What is it like to be a woman? Like, what's my feminine side look like? Because I know I got a masculine side for sure.
Breaking news. I know the feminine masculine topic is a big one, and I know people have their views on it. I'm going to just put it like this. They have been magnified in very unique ways over the last decade or so, due in part to our good friends social media, due in part to people who do podcasts and they want to spark division and controversy between groups and try to make it more difficult for us to get along. So if you didn't have a masculine side, you likely wouldn't be alive.
That's true.
We all have a little bit of both. And some come out in certain situations and others in other situations. And there's more to masculinity than just being a little aggressive.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's more to masculinity than that. I think what I'm learning is to tap in more to my feminine side of things, because I feel like I was in my masculine for a while. So I'm still learning about me. I'm still kind of growing and developing, and it's ever growing. It's never going to change.
It's supposed to be. This is a journey. That's the point.
Yeah. So, as I grow and I learn, I'll learn more about what my identity looks like. But for now, that's my main focus, is getting to know my culture, my religion, and who I am.
Now, I believe it was episode 3 where I tried to tackle identity, which was a bold move. That's actually a very popular episode. It's about to hit 50 views, I think.
Holy crap.
So identity, especially as I've kind of come to experience it and see it with my clients, is something that we actually shed things.
Yeah.
So we come here and we have whatever temperament we have.
Sure.
And then our parents begin to try to shape us into who they thought we were going to be.
Yeah.
And then society starts to shape us in who they think we should be.
Yeah.
And then we start to realize, oh, maybe I can have some fun with this clay as well. So we start shaping ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think as we get older, I think with each successive decade, we just drop some things. Because, oh, mom and dad gave me this and they meant well when they gave it to me, but this isn't mine. So I'm going to put this down.
Yeah.
Or society gave me this thinking it was going to make me better or make me feel better about myself, but it actually makes me feel like crap. So I'm going to put that down.
Yeah.
And then there's some things that we actually put down that we gave ourselves or we believe came from us. And we say, you know what? This isn't mine anymore.
Yeah.
I've outgrown it.
Yeah.
I don't need to be as vigilant as I was when I grew up in this city and now I live here.
Absolutely.
I don't need to be as concerned about what other people think about me and so on. So we just started shedding stuff. And that initial entity that got here starts to shine more and more.
Yeah.
Because we are who we are and we're not becoming as much as we are unveiling who we are.
I like that. Okay.
That's the way I see it. And that's what I've seen with my clients. That's what I've seen in my personal life. That's what I've seen with friends and family. I've seen it with every person I've ever met.
Yeah.
If I've been around somebody for more than 3 years, I can tell you what they put down.
Yeah.
Because I hear it in how they talk about things.
That's true.
I hear it in what they ask about.
Yeah.
Because it starts to shift. Because they can't value it the same way anymore because they've come to see that, no, that doesn't hold the value that I thought it did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like peeling an onion.
Something like that.
You're peeling all the layers.
There will be tears.
There will be tears. There will be tears. Absolutely. You can't have happiness without sadness, right?
They kind of are connected.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I'd love to pick your brain more on that, but I won't hold this.
Well, you know. So if there is a space that people want to reach out to you, if people want to get connected with you so they can, seek services or, guidance, because people in the rooms, they're like, hey, there's somebody who's doing well. There's somebody who's got some things going for them that I'd like to get. Let me learn from them. How can people get in touch with you? How can they find you?
Sure. You can follow me on Instagram. My name is Hanan Ouchene, so HANAN OUCHENE.
It's also going to be under her face when we do this because we do the editing afterwards. So it'll be there.
It'll be there. So look below. And or my LinkedIn, if you want to connect with me professionally. I also want to mention on my Instagram, I'll be posting in my bio, I am actually fundraising for mental health awareness.
Yes.
I'm doing some fundraising for my next High Rocks race in September. So we're trying to get to a goal about $5,000. So $5,000. We've reached 200 in like less than a week. So I think we can get there.
I think you can get there.
I think so too. So please donate if you can. Obviously, all the proceeds go towards organizations who are supporting individuals who are struggling with mental health. I think I looked at a statistic and it's about 1 in 8 are dealing with some sort of mental health crisis globally.
Wow.
And so it's really important for us to have these conversations like we are right now.
Right.
And spread the word and see how many people we can support and reach out to because, at the end of the day, we're all human.
Right.
And so let's just all lend a hand to each other and support each other and hopefully succeed.
Well, that brings us full circle because you highlighted it. Community is key.
Yeah.
So thank you for being a part of my community.
Thanks for bringing me on.
Now she thinks I forgot this, but I didn't. So Hanan, here's where I try to give you your flowers. My grandmother taught me to give me my flowers while I yet live.
Yeah.
So I got used to telling people how awesome they were while they were with me. I want to thank you because earlier this year, I got an opportunity that was solely because of you. I had no idea, but I think it was last December, we were sitting together and you're like, hey, there's this training or event that can go on. We have people come in and talk about different things. Would you be interested in being one of our presenters? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. So January, I get to kick off the year doing a presentation to a diversity board about diversity and wellness. And that was only because I knew you. Like I had heard nothing about this opportunity. Yeah. Nobody advertised it anywhere. Yeah. You said to me, hey, I think you'd be good for this. And then according to you and everybody who suffered through it, you all said it was great.
It was phenomenal.
And I appreciate that. Yeah. And I thank you for the opportunity. And I'm so thankful because this is kind of in my mind why we network.
Yeah.
We network with one another, not because we're trying to always get clients or something like that. We're trying to meet good people.
Yeah.
And we're also trying to see how we can be, helpful in different ways.
Absolutely.
And you kicked off a big series for me. Like I've been able to do that. Thanks to being able to do that, I got in touch with Kira, and Kira was like, hey, could you come and do this continuing education about anything? Like you can talk about whatever you want to.
Yeah.
And we did that in March and it was about stress and you got to be there for that in some way. So thank you so much for the opportunities you've opened up for me. And I have to thank you for going through your recovery process and being where you are in it, because I don't know if we would have crossed paths if it weren't for that.
I don't think so. And that's what I told you about, like, that magic pill. I don't think I would ever take it.
Right.
Because, I've met so many amazing people like you. I've gotten the opportunity to do so many things that have really just changed the course of and trajectory of my life. And I appreciate everything that you do. You're so well versed and educated and have so much knowledge, and you apply it.
Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes.
You do. Listen, we just talked. He wakes up at 5:00 in the morning every single day.
I just started doing that this year.
And he loves it. So
I do.
So it just shows like what an amazing person you are. And the fact that you're starting this podcast and actually taking this leap of faith is so courageous, and it really gives me kind of hope that I'll have the courage to do this one day.
It's not an I'll, it's when you, because like I hope I can be a guest on yours, yeah. And you get yours rolling, talking about all the cool stuff you're going to talk about. So like, I'm just putting it out there. I'd like to join you. It'd be nice.
Absolutely. Are you kidding? Of course. I wouldn't. Yes. I would absolutely love to have you there once I get to that point. But you do amazing work, and you're truly a big pivotal member of this community, and you help a lot of people. And so I want to give you your flowers, because you're truly an amazing human being. You're an amazing father. You're an amazing clinician. You're an amazing friend. So I'm truly blessed and honored to be here, and I really appreciate you having me.
She knows the check's going to be on the other. Like, you guys won't see the money that gets exchanged here. It'll be large sums of money. The advertisement was needed. We don't have any sponsors yet. Starbucks, you're getting free plug here. I didn't actually do this, but no, seriously, I really appreciate you saying that. And yeah. I mean, I think we're all trying to do our best to be better and to make those around us better.
Amen.
And let's keep it going.
Let's do it.
So thank you for watching yet another episode. And I hope that you can see through this interview that like, this is why I have to do this. Yeah. This isn't something that I'm doing for sport. This is something I have to do because I know people like her and so many others who are doing amazing work. Yeah. And fellas, I know it's like, wait, all these ladies, Women's Mental Health Month is May. Woo! Men's Mental Health Month is June. I'm going to get to the fellas. But we got some amazing folks doing amazing things, and I really want to showcase and highlight them. And I also want you, the viewer, to be well. So click like, share, and of course subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next one's going to drop. Mm-hmm. And this has been the Actual Well Podcast. So take care.